on a Monday night, Tuesday morning. Technically, it's Tuesday morning, seeing that it's after midnight. How are you all doing? Me, I'm burning the midnight oil. I'm having some problems with my computer. Hmm. I can't, I'm having technical difficulties again. Okay. I know I promised you all we got that smoke. I've been trying. I got to take it to the computer people. Something's going on with my computer. It's going nuts. But we'll get back with that. We got that smoke sometime today. And all of those subscribers that I was supposed to, all of those channels that I was supposed to subscribe to, I haven't yet because I've been dealing with this problem all day. However, it's been some disturbing news around America. And that is that Trey Reed, a 21-year-old black student at Delta University, at Delta College campus in Mississippi, was lynched in the pickleball court of that university where everybody can see him at. Now, according to the reports, they say that no foul play was involved. However, if you understand history, you would find in history that black men and women were lynched, not by black people, but by white Caucasians who even called themselves Christians. That's what your slave master was, right? He was a Christian. And all of those people who was running away, all of those people who were rebelling against the system of slavery and white supremacy, they were lynched. Black people do a lot of things to themselves. Hell, they even shoot themselves, commit robberies against one another, carjack one another, sell drugs and poison to one another. Black people do that. But black people do not lynch themselves. Black people don't do that. Have you ever heard of a black man in the annals of history in this era that hangs himself? We don't do stuff like that at all. Those are the workings of the ops, meaning, yeah, white people. And sadly, they had a black police sheriff, commissioner, whatever his name is, saying that there was no foul play and they were not looking for any suspects. Damn. Do you see how they use us against us? Do you see how they use us to calm each other down? Lo Mein, ha 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 ha. What's going on, Lo Mein? Glad you're here in the chat room to be an antagonist. Either way, if you are an antagonist, you're wasting your energy here. You're wasting your energy here. Go play victim. Nobody's playing victim. The black man was hanged. What is there to be a victim about? Just like Charlie Kirk. He was a victim too. He was shot and killed by his own people. But this black man that was lynched in Delta University, was not lynched by his own. White people did that. Not to mention the fact that they said that they found broken bones on the young man, broken arm, broken legs. But the medical examiner said that none of his bones were broken and there was no foul play. In fact, about it, there has been a couple of men lynched, black men that has been lynched this year. Some in North Carolina, those truck drivers. And this was before the death of Charlie Kirk. You had the other man that was in Alabama, the black man that was into it with the sheriffs. And from according to their report, there was no foul play, but he hung himself, even though he had lawsuits against the local authorities in Alabama, in the city or county in which he resided in. COD Impro, COD Impro, what's up, man? Colby Jacob, you woke up thinking about race and people dying. I hope you get help, brother. Number one, I'm not just waking up. I've been up for quite some time trying to work on some material for the audience out there, and I have just ran into a whole bunch of technical difficulties. So sometime tomorrow, I will have all of that information for you all, at least some of it, because I got to get my computer. It's got to go to the shop. Okay. But we're still here on but we're still here on this phone. Sorry about that. Got a virus. Somebody gave me a code somewhere where I put my hand on the doorknob or something went like that, But yeah, I've been thinking about this all day and I've been watching people post about this all day. But I've been staying quiet because I've been working on my own computer. Who's that? Michael Foster. He's doing his research and paying attention to what's going on in this crazy world. Give him some credit. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I send you shots out, Michael Foster, because you could have been somewhere else with someone else doing something else, but you decided to stop by to see what we had to say this morning in regards to Trey Reed being lynched at Delta University down in Mississippi. Anybody out there, I don't care what city and state that you are from, if white people came up being lynched, who do you think that they would suspect the lynchers to be? Do you think the lynchers would be white people, or do you think that the lynchers would be black people? Black people, like I said, don't even hang themselves. We would rather just shoot you, fill your body full of holes, and be done with it, versus trying to tie you up to a tree. We don't do that. That young man died. For what reason? We don't know. Many speculate it's in retaliation from the Charlie Kirk incident, but black people didn't shoot and kill Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying. Was this a warning? Or was this just some random act of horror that someone committed to this young man, despite the fact that there have been threats towards black colleges and universities? Not to mention the fact that $353 million has been cut, meaning their funding for major black colleges and universities. Any university or college that has a high number of students that are black or indigenous, chop, chop, thanks to Donald Trump. Just like they chopped the life or lynched the life from Trey Reed. For all of the people that's out there, who do you think did it? Let's see here. Ben Scott, there's a lot more going on in this world than one person dying. Get a grip, brother. Joan Collins, as a Mississippian who has moved away, it's sad to be explaining to people it's not like that. And we see stuff like that or this on the news. Michael Foster, Jesus Christ saves all who believe in him. We need to get back to the world of faith. Bowser Gaming, you were never a slave. Well, right now, Bauer Gaming, we're all slaves. Slaves to rent, slaves to car notes, slaves to cell phones, slaves to cable, slaves to subscriptions, slaves to our jobs. We're all slaves. And the sad part about it, we're working paid slaves. We are working paid slaves. And they're not beating us. They're not raping us. They're raping us economically. They're raping the life out of you in which you could be focused on your family and of a higher learning and energetic level. But they have everybody stressed out, worrying about where they're going to live, survival. Are they going to make it? Where they're going to get something to eat? It's a lot of things that we are slaves to. Hell, if you're not a slave today, what are you? The only way you're not a slave economically is if you're a millionaire. That's the only way. Millionaire or billionaire. Thousandaires are on the verge of being broke as ever too. And everything is going up, but not your wages. We don't get fair wages here. In fact, the citizens of this country gets ripped off more than anybody else in regards to being a slave. Does it even matter? Yeah, dog. I'm from the Delta. We all getting fucked. I'm gonna help y'all out. Start your own business. Make your own money. You're still gonna get taxed, but at least you can build. Stop crying and start creating. I've been telling people out here that. But what does a black man like me know? They say I don't know nothing. Yeah, they say I don't know nothing. Just like many tell you, um, does it even matter? I'm sure that people tell you that you don't know what you're talking about either. These are things that the master teachers have told us how many decades ago? But yet, black people still don't get the message. Caught up in the system. You know, if you erase the history of black people, Black people don't even know what greatness they have done. You can talk to some black people right now and you ask them about Black Wall Street and they'll just look at you like you crazy. Ask them about um, Camp Lanier. They'll act like you crazy. Ask them about all of the Mecca places that black people have had in America. And who destroyed those black Mecca cities or towns that black people had here in America that was built from hard work, sweat, blood, and tears? The number one domestic terrorist in America destroyed that, even with the help of the police and the U.S. government. Take it all the way back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay? But we're going to keep it here on Trey, you know, Trey Reed, 21 years old. Now, this wasn't done just by one individual. I'm sure that that young man at 21 years old at least knows how to protect himself. The sad part about it is that you're on a college campus and no one sees what happens. No one heard a thing. No one saw a thing. There was no foul play. In fact, about it, how did he even get up to the tree? Was there a stool? Was there a ladder? Was there a chair on the ground where he could have stood up, hung himself in the noose, or kicked the chair over? None of that. So just out of the air, pow, just out of the air, he can hang himself from the tree without leaving any evidence of how he got in the tree. Y'all, it's not making no sense. This is all a cover story. The chief of police is covering all of this up. Look at the press conference. I know. And sadly, it's a black man who's the chief of the police who they got down there speaking, talking about there's no foul play and no one is a suspect. No one is a suspect. Were they there? So how can they say that there's not a suspect? How does anybody die without a suspect? Even if the young brother Trey Reed was going to commit suicide, that would be a suicide note, or he would have done it privately. Most people who commit suicide do it in a private place, a secluded place, not where everyone can see them, or not in the middle of the night where there's no evidence of how you killed yourself. This is outlandish. What's this here? Looks mad, uncomfortable. Joan Collins, Marcellus Sims. The hell you talking about? Dude was hung at the college in the Delta. Yeah, that's what we talking about. Now, Marcellus Sims, are you a black man here in America? Huh? Lynchings is used as fear, just like all of their other tactics that they use. Now, when they say that there is no suspect, that means that they don't care about looking. You know why they're not caring about looking? Because they know who did it. They know who did it. Even that chief of police, that black man who was covering up for the horrific, beastly acts that white men have committed against this young man. This is sad for a chief of police in a black man's skin to say that no one is a suspect. Out of all of those people on the college campus. So how do you explain? You're just going to say it's a suicide and just forget about it. That's cool. It's not like uh President Trump is hanging the flag half mast for Trey Reed. Do you think that this was an act of racism or act of retribution upon blacks just for being blacks, or because that black people didn't kill Charlie Kirk? Do you think that it is because that many white radicals are mad that we don't, or we are not participating in their suffering because of Charlie Kirk? How could how could a person feel sorry for someone who blatantly said that he is their enemy? So no. Now maybe if Charlie Kirk was a white dude like John Brown, oh, y'all don't know who John Brown is? Get a grip. Do some research. hmm Now, if Charlie Kirk was like an abolitionist, like John Brown was, maybe black people would have some feelings for Charlie Kirk. But black people don't have no remorse for, well, black people who got sense, black people who not affected by the Stockholm syndrome. We don't feel sorry for our enemies, just like white people don't feel sorry for their enemies. But we know who did this. Um, he was a good dude, bro. You missed the point. Shave your beard, Auntie. Hey, Curtis. What's going on? Shouts out to SV Lad. He was a good brother. Doesn't even matter. I doubt it has anything to do with Charlie Kirk. Bro, it's Mississippi. Wild shit goes down 24/7 here. Okay, doesn't matter. Do you think that a black man did it? Do you think that? Seeing that you're from Mississippi, down there in the Delta, who do you think did it? You won't answer that question, doesn't matter, will you? I haven't seen you answer it, but I do like the idea that you said that we need to move forward and focus on owning something. People die every day. People do die every day, but black men don't die every day from being lynched. The only people that's lynching people or have lynched people here in America is white people who have lynched other people that they are trying to oppress or has oppressed or is continuously oppressing. That's who hang people. Show me one black person here in America that has been convicted of hanging someone. Huh? In fact, about it, can you show me a white person here in America out of all of the hangings that they've committed? Can you show me one white person here? Yes, one white person here in America, past or present, that has been convicted for hanging a black man? The answer is no. Now, you can do all of the research that you want to. That you're not going to find. No white man in America has ever been convicted for hanging a black man. How many lynchings have white people performed on black people in America? You think about that. How many? Just alone in Mississippi is over 650. Hmm? Wouldn't that be right Does it matter? That would be a correct number. On right on the verge of being correct. I'm not too far off, maybe a digit or two. Over 650. And I think that's been since the Civil War. Since the Civil War. Because really, black people didn't end up being lynched until after the Civil War. To keep them in fear by the Klan that was created by the Democrats, the Democrats. But you see how the tables turn? That's a whole nother conversation. We're going to keep it on Trey Reed. Who do you all think did it out there? Do you all think that Trey Reed committed suicide? Do you think he hung himself? Do you think there was foul play involved? Do you think that a white enemy did it? Or how many do you think did it? Because one white man is not going to hang one black man. That is not going to happen, okay? And he didn't kill himself. He didn't commit suicide. Y'all better stop playing out there. Who's that? Armando Cortez. Maybe it was your homie dead, shot in the neck, chanting, I don't think either our human beings need chanting. I don't think either are what human beings need to be doing, but I think it might be white. No, human beings, who is this? Antonio Cortez. Shouts out to you, Antonio Cortez, for even being here in this LIVE. We are not acting as if we are human beings. We are acting like beasts in human form. And just from a historical standpoint, don't argue with me, argue with history with what I'm about to say, okay? Historically, once again, and I have to emphasize on this point, historically, Armando Cortez, no black man has ever hung himself, or has a black man been convicted of hanging anyone in America. Nowhere in the annals of history. But you do have records of Caucasian people doing that to black people. I just don't understand, why would they want to cover it up? What's there to cover up? If you was bold enough to do it, you know, you should be bold enough to be like Tyler Robinson and said, I did it. But cowards do stuff like that. Cowards do stuff like that. Now, for all of you people who are not from Mississippi, I highly recommend that you don't go to Mississippi for no reason at all. If you got some family member that's down there, make sure you have them to come see you versus you going to Emmett Till when they're from Chicago. And that is, look at what happened to those young black men just graduated from high school that were from Boston that ended up in the mountains in Georgia. And we know who killed them, right? The same person who looks like him is the same ones who did that to Trey Reed. You don't speak for anyone but yourself. Maybe if Charlie Kirk was Eminem, think about that Eminem. If Charlie Kirk was Eminem, maybe black people may mourn with you all for Eminem. Eminem is not a Charlie Kirk. Eminem is not a Charlie Kirk. You can't compare the two. That's just like saying I am a Baptist preacher, and that I ain't. Okay. Charlie Kirk racist, Eminem ally. And didn't we let OJ off? What did that have to do with this? He was married to a white lady. And even if you want to just use OJ, right? Okay, well, didn't y'all get off for Freddie Gray? Didn't you get off for Michael Brown? Didn't you get off for Sandra Bland? Are you all not getting off for Trey Reed? Didn't you all get off for Malcolm X? Didn't you all get off for King? Well, they used Ray. You know, what was his name? Ray. What was his name? What was that white boy they say? James? Whatever his name was. Ray. Middle name Ray, you know. But needless to say, how many of you all got off with all of the lynchings and killings that you all have done and know you done, and the police have helped? How about that? Past and future. Past and future. Certain white people, you got to separate the certain bad ones from the good ones. Smoke out. Maybe like 80 years ago, we're in 2025, auntie. I don't know why people calling me auntie. Like, that's just some disrespectful things to say to a man that's not trans or just not, homosexual. I'm not either. So stop calling me auntie. I'm not your aunt. We don't put up with negativity in the chat room. We thankful that you're here, but we don't need your negativity in the chat room, man. We just don't need that. Okay? So be nice while you're in this chat room, because we're trying to be nice here to people that come into the chat room. Be nice to other people too, right? People talk about we're all human beings. Well, some people in the chat room not acting like they're human beings. They're acting like beasts in human form. People that dwell on a low energetic level, and that we're not doing. Who is that? BLVNT OBJEKT. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, Corrupt PX? What it is? Shouts out to you. Oh, Corrupt PX, you call me a nigger. Here we go. Here we go. He didn't call. He got GGER. What that means? A nigger? Man, look. It takes a nigga to know one, right? Right? But like I said, we're not going to deal with the negative people here right now. You have the right to say what you want to say. I don't care what you say about me. I don't even know you. And if I was in your face right now, you wouldn't call me that. If I was in your face right now, you wouldn't call me that. In fact about it, if you wasn't so much of a coward, why don't you just put the whole word in the live section of the comment? Don't misspell it. Don't half spell it. Be what you are, a racist coward behind some type of icon, Corrupt PX. Yeah, you corrupt, all right. Beast in human form. Patrick Sanders. What's up, Patrick? Tiffany Archangel. Tiffany, go check it out. All of the social medias are talking about it. Black man lynched in Delta at Delta University in Mississippi. White person too, but you don't care. Foul play there. They always say that even in prisons. What evidence is there of anyone doing it to him? I haven't heard of this until now. Because you are not the race being murdered in your own state. Ronald Potting. What about the white guy hung in Vicksburg? Did they find his killer? Who was that? Ronald Potting? What white guy that was lynched in Vicksburg? I haven't heard of that story. But even if he was lynched, the white guy, did they find his lynchers? That's all we want to know. Did they find his lynchers? Uh, D'Angelo Locklear, brothers mad about shit 100 years ago. Uh, they can't help what they do. They only have a 6 DNA sequence. Us black people have 9. John Collins, I bet you say that Charlie Kirk shit. Patrick Sanders, KKK. Shia LaBeouf, race bait much. Terrorist world does. Not 100 years ago, moron. Yesterday. Exactly. It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. Not 100 years ago. What it says here. Hey Jamal, what's popping? I'm tired of all of this ugliness. I am with you, James Anderson. Shout out to James Anderson. I'm with you. Enough is enough. Righteous people are tired of it all. But this world, this society, the rule in which righteous people live under is a prison for them. This world is a prison for the righteous. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. It's sad that he lost his life. We just hate that he was a bigot. And I'm sure that Trey Reed, that young black man, wasn't speaking about white people like Charlie Kirk was speaking about black people. That young black man was not a racist. That's for sure. Joe T getting off. R.I.P. brother. KKK Cal, what's his name? That is a murderer. Cal who? That's a murderer. Alexander Burton said hi. Snake Plissken, Charlie was a bigoted loser. Stay a victim, bro. Anybody who suffers violence from another human being, regardless of race or color or creed, is a victim of the crime that is committed by the culprit. Okay? It's right versus wrong. But in this case, as always, when a black man is lynched, it's got something to do with race. Always does. Y'all think about that. No one is staying a victim. The whites are remembering. What are the whites are remembering? That they evil? Okay, Auntie. Okay, nah. I just stumbled across some dude. Sounds like a hater fest in here. It's always a hate fest when truth is involved. It's always a hate fest when people don't want to accept their own actions that their own history depicts them as doing or being. That's the sad thing here. We're not putting anything where it doesn't belong. We're putting everything where it belongs, and we're keeping it in the context of every situation, every historical fact, whether black or white, just like with the lynchers. Have you ever seen a lyncher, black or white, here in America, convicted, caught? Some of them been caught, and they still didn't get the electric chair. They still didn't go to prison, especially all of those white men who lynched black men in America, just like they did yesterday, not 100 years ago. Uh, you look like the turtle in Mario. Okay, whatever you said. Rowan McDowell, Joshua Mesa. That doesn't even look white. People hated Esau. Okay, Joshua. Unc, I am part of the Aryan Brotherhood, and I love you. Hey, I'm glad that you're part of the Aryan Brotherhood. That's cool with me. Hell, you had Elijah Muhammad, one of the blackest men in America, and he had ties with the Aryan nation. In fact, it was white racists who funded the Nation of Islam. So he got along with white people, and he understood that just because the color of your skin doesn't make you an enemy, it makes you a suspect, but it doesn't actually make you an enemy because white people commit crime against white people every day. Black people commit crime against black people every day. Chinese people commit crime against Chinese people every day. But where's the race act in this? Like I said, the chief of police is not even considering an investigation and is considering no suspects, even though he's a black man down in the Delta. Is that making any sense to you? That's not making any sense to me at all. None whatsoever. Who we got out there? Rant Rage. I'm in Cleveland, Mississippi right now. Yeah, that's exactly where it took place at, in Cleveland, Mississippi. We are all children of God. I stand with you, brother. God bless you. Give my G my her glasses back. Man, I got some pimp glasses on, okay? And they transitionals. Can you afford them? Can you afford these grandma transitional glasses custom made? Can you afford that? You know, let the little money walk, let the big money talk. Right now, you a little money, man. You're little money. Who is that? Cabbage farmer. Man, bye. What did someone call him? You ain't gonna be in your face unless it's for. Hey, they getting it in out here. The trolls getting to you. The trolls not getting to me. They not bothering me because I don't dwell on a low energetic level. You don't argue with people that it is on a lower vibration than you. You don't do that. I don't do it. I don't give my energy to them. I don't give my time to them. I may give them an inclination that I'm hearing or reading what they're saying or typing, but for the most part, I don't know that negative energy dude out there. And like I said, if he was in my face, he wouldn't be that way. One on one, head up, he wouldn't be that way. Pound for pound, he wouldn't want to be that way. We'll have another Netflix fight. 100, it'll be another Netflix fight. Uh-huh. But all people stand up to any discrimination. Shots out. What was that? Terry's World Does. Ten's World Does. Sorry about the mispronunciation. Yeah, we got a troll out here, but it's all good. You all have the power to be. Cabbage farmer, cringe. Redneck, that's a shame. They need to catch whoever was involved. They need to, but from the looks of it, they not worried about it too much because they don't have a suspect and they don't think that a suspect is involved. They think that he just killed himself. Like I say, we do a lot of things to ourselves, but lynching is not one of them. Put your nose on the camera. Well, how about this? What's this? B. Dave Shaw? How about you just leave the chat room? And then you don't have to ask me to put my nose on the camera. Alexander Burden. And hold on, brother. If you are a pastor, do your job and pray for the young man instead of making mockery of what you don't necessarily know. What do you mean by that? Pray for who? The lyncher? Pray for the lynchers. I'm going to pray for Trey Reed, but Trey Reed is already dead. What's the point of praying for Trey Reed if he's already dead? Alexander Burton, he's dead. What praying? Black people do the most praying of all people in America, and prayer ain't did nothing for us, okay? You say, well, prayer helped us get out of slavery. Prayer helped us. Hey, you know what? If you are a religious person, I respect you because my family is a religious family. But all of that prayer stuff ain't helping nobody. In fact, about it, you mean to tell me that God was present when they lynched Trey Reed there at Delta University? Where was God at when Michael Brown got his brains blown out? Where was Michael Brown when the police paralyzed that brother? Damn, what's his name? Gray, what's his name? Y'all know the brother that took place. Freddie Gray. Yeah, Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray. Was God there? Did anybody pray for Freddie Gray when he was being tossed around like a sausage in the back of a police paddy wagon, and the police knew what they were doing? Huh? I'm just saying. No, was God there when they say James Earl Ray shot Dr. Martin Luther King? Was God there? Was God there when the feds killed Malcolm X? Was God there? Is God any place where anybody gets killed at? I'm just saying. They are saying no foul play for the lynched student. That's right. No, I be a pastor of truth. Y'all say the same shit every time when shit happens. Like, what the fuck? Like, these people in this chat room is getting it in. God will bless the righteous. Who is this corpse? God. My family is mixed between Latinos and African Americans. I apologize. I don't like to say black people. I feel you, brother. I feel you. But just for the sake of conversation, corpse God, it is what it is. You know, most people of culture call themselves from the land in which they come from. Very educated in the matter. But for the sake of conversation and keeping things simple, I'm just saying. Shouts out to you, corpse God. Uh Honesty. Joshua Messers, there's nothing about race that is righteous. God hated Esau. God hated Esau. Was it because Esau was evil? Mm, I'm just saying. I mean, because if God hated Esau because he was evil, but some people say that Esau was of a red skin versus a dark skinned black man. And from the looks of it, and from the looks of it, he hated all except the devil. Because he allowed the devil to do what he wanted to do. And did not just kill the devil. If God created the devil, why didn't he just kill him just like that? With a snap of his finger. I'm just saying. I'm not getting off into that. That's not the conversation. Start speaking out against all the crimes being committed by young black men. I've already did that, Scott. Talking about why don't I speak about all of the crimes that is committed black on black. I already did that, man. Go check out my videos on this page, live or upload. Help yourself. I've already did that, man. I've been doing this a long time, not just on video, but in actual life. In actual life, I'm a real fisherman. 100. It gets tiresome, but do what you love to do, even if no one understands why. Remember that. Sounds like you've never heard of an entire speech by Charlie. Man, maybe you're not talking to me. The world has been given into the hands of the wicked, says the Bible. Brandon Hoey, you ever been to Massachusetts? Yes, I've been to Massachusetts. I've been to Boston. I've been to Springfield and a couple of more places in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is nothing nice either. Massachusetts is nothing nice either. Parts of Massachusetts, they have sundown towns. 100. New Hampshire, sundown towns. Georgia, sundown towns. South Carolina, sundown towns. North Carolina, sundown towns. Connecticut, Maine, some of them have sundown towns. Texas, sundown towns. Missouri, Alabama, Mississippi, sundown towns. They do have them in all of the states that I just mentioned. 100. Google it and check it yourself. Don't argue with me, argue with the facts. Okay? No foul play suspected. That's what they say. No foul play suspected, Santana. We'll see. You keep calling Kirk, man. Who is that? Scott. Scott, I thank you for being here, but I'm not going to get off into this with you about the Kirk thing. Kirk was who he was, and you must be white, okay? You must be one of those people just like Kirk, okay? That's why you're saying what you're saying, but you're not gonna get me off my course. You're not gonna feed me your negative energy, and I'm not gonna bow down to your negative energy. So you have a good night, but you can stay here if you like. You're welcome to, and we thank you for being here, okay? Uh, some people weren't born just to be offended by everything. Okay, I was with you, but you're just racist, crazy people. Arutalio, Chandra, Pilsenberger, Faces Miss Bunny, Fastest Miss Bunny, oh, excuse me, Facts Miss Bunny. Okay, sorry about that. Stevenson Lebowski. Amen. Shouts out to everybody that's in the chat room. Once again, I want to send shouts out to everybody that's in the chat room tonight. Okay? Who is that? Charlie Kirk loved everyone, but ignorance is a bliss. Yes, ignorance is a bliss, and ignorance is ruling the world. Ignorance and evilness, wickedness is ruling the world. John, free Palestine. Everybody should be free. God gave this planet to everybody, right? But who's ruling it? It ain't God, okay? It ain't God. And if you say that these men who are ruling are men of God, I would have to, wonder about your soul state of being. Your soul state of being. There is no Palestine, free Palestinians. Many men need to take an example from Charlie Kirk. Mike, there is no Palestine. Joe Watt, compassionate information is better than blind information. I appreciate that. Joe Watt, compassionate information is better than blind information. That's facts. That's some real talk. And we appreciate you and we tip our hat to you. Good looking. We thank you for being in the chat room. JP Goose, did you know that there was countries in Africa that slavery was completely legal until 1989? All right, you all. JP Goose, we not talking about that. I understand what you're talking about. And I do understand. In fact, it's still slavery over there right now, JP Goose. The Arabs still are enslaving black people. And they are selling them, the Arabs, who started selling it, black people and enslaving them before white people did. Yeah. Way before the North Atlantic trade slave. We'll have to go back to 725 BC to get into that. JP Goose, just in case you did not know that I knew that. Thank you very much, though. We all Charlie Kirk. We got lynched yesterday. Who got lynched yesterday? And you know what? This guy wasn't speaking on anything. He wasn't a national figure. He didn't belong to no right wing or left wing association. Just a 21-year-old college student trying to get some education. Just like Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old who was trying to get education but left college and went off and got him a tech degree. And there's nothing wrong with it. I understand that you got crazy people out here, you got racist people out here. But to be on a college campus, do black people play pickleball? Do black people play pickleball? I'm just wondering. Pickleball court A, you say? I'm just saying. We all need the same sad high. Clark Kent, are you good enough for heaven? Well, no one is good for heaven. If you're talking about some heaven in the sky that they taught you to, think when you were in whatever religious school of thought that you belong to. But I don't disrespect or discount your belief. I just feel that heaven is on this earth and hell is on this earth while we live, and there are conditions of life. This dude needs to learn history. We broke God's laws, but Jesus paid our fine. But how was he lynched? Is that facts? Do your job and pray to teach, to see it so it won't happen again. I'm a witness. because I live with consequence every day now from my own. Who lynched me? Yeah. Hey, who said that out there? Alexander Burton. Yes, people make decisions in their lives that consequently can lynch themselves. They can shortchange themselves. They can stop themselves from growing, all because of something that they did. But like I said, this isn't the case. If you study people, once again, I'm going to say this one more time in this video. People who commit suicide do it in secluded areas and they won't do it in public, or they leave a note. And like I said, there was no evidence, there was no chair, there was no stool, there was no ladder, anything that helped him get up to the tree. So he just had some wings on his back and he flew up in the noose and he cut his own wings off and he hung himself. Come on, man. Now, believe it or not, some people will respect the lynchers if they just fess up to it. Some people will respect the lynchers if they just fessed up to it. They may not live long afterward. I mean, like not today. Today's a different day. If black people know that white people know that this family over here lynched him, maybe not. Because look what happened to George Floyd. Those people knew where that cop lived at. But his wife divorced him. She didn't have nothing to do with it. And didn't want to have anything to do with the racist police. What's his name again? What's that guy that killed George Floyd? But he don't even matter right now because he's sitting in prison somewhere. Romans 12:19, do not take revenge. All right, well, God need to, get off the job of sleeping or something. I mean, the God that y'all thinking about, the invisible God, the gods that I know that is real. I mean, human beings, righteous people. Did not God leave the righteous in place in his stead? Like some Muslims would call it a vicegerent or a khalifa, which is a vicegerent, God representative on earth. But we don't see God nowhere. We just see evil and wickedness and devilishment that is ruling. God is nowhere to be found. Is God asleep? Is God getting high? Is God in prison? Is God dead? For all of those people who believe that God is in the sky and not in person, I'm just saying. Trying to start a race, well, they can have fun with that. I guess they'll be starting it with themselves. But needless to say, you all need to get on post. Get on post because it's going down. And if you all did know that it's going down, well, I highly suggest that you wake up. Come from up under that rock in which you're living under. And be among the real of what's happening. Not of yesterday, like years of yesterday, but yesterday as of 24 hours and as of this minute right now. Yeah. I'm from Scotland. Oot in about fishing. Hey, peace out to the people that's out there in Scotland. Clark Kent, we are not all children of God. Damn, Clark Kent. Pow! I'm not going to say too much about it. Clark Kent just put a nail in the coffin for the haters that's out there. All of the trolls that's out there. Clark Kent just put a nail in the coffin. I feel you, bro. That's another video, though. But I appreciate you and I thank you. John Hudak, flexing transition lenses is hilarious. That's right. Transitions, bro. Flex them all the time. Not unless they broke. If I break them, sit on them, something like that. But other than that, I wear transitions all the time. Even my old glasses, okay? Do you have a filter from Snap? Anyway, Roderick Rowe, Saxy, stop getting so mad. They be bugging out. Nori Tatter, Kirk had small, dim energy. No, Kirk had a lot of energy. Charlie Kirk had a lot of energy. He wasn't a low energetic person, but his thoughts were low. His thoughts were low. Some people say that he got what he asked for. He was always talking about violence and guns and how guns is a cultural way of white people here in America. Violence is a way of Americans. That's what Charlie Kirk said. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I'm just saying. Rory Tater, Clark Kent, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, R.I.P. Trey Reed, okay? R.I.P. Trey Reed. RIP for anybody who has a family member that is gone, that is unalived because of gun violence or a cowardly act of lynching someone that took them away from their family. RIP to those victims, not just Charlie Kirk and Trey Reed, but all victims who have died because of an injustice, because of hatred and bigotry. How about that? Shouts out to all of those victims, okay? Dan, brother man, Gramoso never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Who's that? Garmu. Shouts out to you, Garmu. Shouts out to you, Garmu, for saying that. Another nail or dagger in a coffin. Bro man, okay, Clark Kent, whoever hates and despises those who represents God, also despise their creator and hate the God of heaven. All right, okay, I see that you are a right winger. Clark Kent, I had gave you a little credit earlier, but I don't care if you wasn't Charlie Kirk, if you're just a righteous person. Some people say that Charlie Kirk was righteous. Some people say that he wasn't righteous. Everybody has their opinion. And if Charlie Kirk was a righteous man to you, well, you have the right to say, rest in peace, and he was a righteous person. But we all know that he was a bigot, okay? Even white people said that. I'm just saying. Um, I turned into an alien after eating radioactive shrimp from Walmart. Hell no. Hell no. I like that. That's what it is. The cryptid bond. I don't know, man. People start making sales to action, and all of a sudden, people are hanging from trees. Look at that. The crystal bond. How you doing? Shouts out to you out there, crystal bond. Uh, we all need to be. We all bleed the same. We need unity. But you know what? Some people whom are beasts in human form don't think like that. Some people who are beasts in human form do not think like that. Chandra Pilsenberger, we appreciate your comment. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for participating. Not every person who says Lord will enter heaven, they won't. Terrace World. I do post on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. Okay, ain't into that. Free Tyler Robinson. Christ is King of Kings. People going in. What's going on, Diamonds? What's going on, Mike? They already cut the man who did it, but more might be involved. They already got the man who did it? Oh, you talking about Charlie Kirk? Because I know ain't no suspects involved over here in Mississippi. Cleveland, Mississippi. Hey, how far is that from where they had blamed Cat Williams at from murdering the other comedian, even though it was his bodyguard? But you know how rumors spread on the street. But that last guy named was Williams, who was his former bodyguard, or was his bodyguard, or is his bodyguard, How far is that from Cleveland, Mississippi? Uh, Two people were found hanging in Mississippi, one black male and one white male. Both ruled suicide. Hey, y'all ever watch that movie Mississippi Burning back in the day? Do you all remember the movie entitled Mississippi Burning back in the day? Do you all remember the civil rights movement? Yeah, those fascist people, they will hang you if they catch you involved with somebody that they don't like. I'm just saying. You even had white women who was killed that was messing with black men down in Mississippi. They didn't care because it was about fear. And white is right. Well, just from a historical point, white has been wrong. Like, like a butterfinger. Okay. White has been wrong like a butterfinger. Uh-huh. Black people build and make culture. Somebody saying somebody shut up. Clickbait. Can't blame Charlie Kirk. Are you giving a course in Yapernomics? I like that. Are you giving a course in Yapernomics? Who was that? Ben. Shouts out to you, Ben. How you doing out there, man? We appreciate you for being here and participating. That was funny what you said. It's all good, man. It's all love. Well, they in here tonight. God is everywhere. Well, God need to be everywhere right now. With all of the madness and the craziness that's going on. Yeah. God need to do something. He need to show up somewhere. He need to show up in DC and remove Trump. God about that. God need to remove Trump, be in DC, and remove all of these evil people, all of these racist people, all of the unrighteous people. Should you think he should kill them or just place them on an island by themselves? Because the righteous people don't want to be bothered with the unrighteous people. We don't want no part of them. And we don't care what color you are. Righteous is not a color. Righteous is a state of being and of action. So we don't care what color you are as long as you're righteous. And if you're found being unrighteous, then we present you with punishment. Maybe like stone you to death or something. We tired of unrighteous people around here. I gotta get some tissue here. Sorry about that. But my nose is sort of stuffy. Uh-huh. The old guy blame me God now. Must never have been trans. Yes, they do, Karen. They getting it in. Tuesday morning. LIVETHEMOSHOW, Chicago. Well, the execution of knowledge is POWER, but you also have to apply it, okay? uh, uh, who is left to blame? Keep going, brother. Kind of Kirk's death was tragic, but he was a piece of stuff. Okay. I'm reading the comments. Now, this is not what I'm saying. I'm reading the comments, you all. Are you a good enough person, morally speaking, to enter heaven? Okay. There you go again with that question, Clark Kent. Clark Kent back at it again. Where's Jake at? Anybody seen Jake out there? B3. Anybody seen Victoria? uh Fresh one. Black Americans come from America. Most of us do, because some of us was already here. Some of us was already here. All blacks did not come over on slave boats, okay? That is a distortion of history, okay? That's his story, not the real story. Okay? Some people were already here. We were already here. Uh, you're right about that. Ivan Curry. Joshua, what you saying? Stop talking about Africa. We are not from Africa. We are the original people of Turtle Island, the United States. Facts. Facts. Turtle Island is America. And this is where we are from. In fact, we was already here. We're all over the globe. In fact, about it, Joshua, I agree with you. If people would go back to earlier pictures of the original, what they call Indians, okay, the Aborigines, you will see that they look just like black people. I agree with you, Joshua, and I hate to use the term black, but for the sake of conversation, okay? For the sake of conversation, okay? Some people just don't get it yet, okay? Some people just don't get it. Maybe they will if they continue to study. Thank you, Big Boss. Much love and respect to you. No adulterer, fornicator, the Clark can't be on it. Clark can't be on it. I may not agree with everything Clark Kent says, but Clark Kent most definitely is a participant in this chat room. I'm going to subscribe to your channel, Clark Kent. Sometime today, I'm going into the community section of the the YouTube app and just hit all of these people up. Everybody that's in the chat room. I've been unable to do that yesterday because I was too busy trying to get my computer not malfunctioning. Okay, but that didn't work, so I got to take it to the bug store. It's got to go somewhere because we need to be mastering and rendering some videos. I got tons of stuff for you all. But until then, I'll be doing these LIVEs, okay? Yeah, LIVEs, yes. Yaponomics. Y'all bugging. Wow, people are all in here. Exactly. You lost me. John Collins being Kirk talked about. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I want to thank everybody for being here in the chat room. I want to thank you all. And we will be here again tomorrow or the day after. We will be here until I get this thing fixed, okay? Which is today, okay? Today, tomorrow, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. We should have this thing up and running from the Buck store, okay? But I want to thank everybody for being out there in the chat room. And if you haven't been over to my other channel, MOPOWERZ here on YOUTUBE, go over to that channel. If you like to travel with us to the Grand Canyon, travel with us to the Georgia Guidestones, travel with us to the Black Holocaust Museum in Milwaukee, travel with us to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, travel with us to Sedona, Arizona, travel with us to the ley lines that's up in Whidbey Island in Washington State. Travel with us to Miami. Travel with us to York, Maine. Travel with us to Washington, D.C. in front of the White House, where I did a video right in front of the White House in D.C., Virginia, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. However, Chinatown Downtown Boston looks crazy. Yeah, I've been to Boston before a whole lot. Just to answer a question about someone asked me, have I been to Massachusetts? I've been all over Massachusetts. Uh, who else we got here? And my white wild racists, they going in. I want to thank everybody out there. I don't care what color you are, what color you are in the crayon box, what ethnicity you are, what background you come from. Thank you for being in this chat room Tuesday morning talking about Trey Reed, who got lynched over there at Delta University in Mississippi. And by the way, um, with the traveling over in my other channel, MOPOWERZ, you all may want to check out those audiobook series that we left for you all. Blackman of the Nile and his family, Stolen Legacy, As a Man Thinketh, The Black Man, The Message to the Black Man in America, The Fall of America, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca, The Demonology of King James, The Miseducation of the Negro, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors. We got all of those audiobook series for you over there on MOPOWERZ, along with more videos that will last you every day for 3 years, and you don't have to watch the same video. Just like you can watch this channel for 4 years and don't have to watch the same video every day. We got a lot of material, okay? And if you are into Chicago hip hop, old school gangster rap, spoken word, R&B, Chicago street clip, independent movies, go over to my last channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space here, on YOUTUBE, and find the likes of Twista, Shauna, Dion Cole, Reggie Reg, Quintella, Dara Banks, Shari, Official Business, Affiliated Fellas, Mecca, Mano, Big Taz, Killer Bloodline, Project Pat. We got a whole lot of people over there on that channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, for all you old school heads, hip hops, R&B, spoken word, and gangster rap. And on your way out the door, seeing that our time is coming up to end this live, on your way out the door, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. And also press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. I want to thank you all for being here. Everybody that's in the chat room, I sent shots out to you. Clark Kent, you something else. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Never give up on your DREAMS. That's my time. And rest in peace, Trey Reed. Rest in peace.